and let the world know, like low VA rates, you also support and honor our military men and women. So today, number one, before I forget, we want to give a special honorable mention to Colonel Leo K. Thorsness. He unfortunately passed away today at the age of 85, but he was a Medal of Honor recipient, and we wanted to go ahead and give the appropriate recognition for him since he passed away today. With that, we are going to talk about rolling closing costs into your VA loan. A lot of questions about this. We know this why? Well, because this is a keyword or a phrase that's typed a ton into Google and Bing and Yahoo, all these different search engines. Let us know this is what the world's kind of wondering about, or at least the VA loan world. So we thought it would be interesting to talk about rolling closing costs into your VA loan today. So let's talk about that. Number one, let's make sure we define closing costs before I get into rolling them into your loan. Closing costs, pretty simple. It's kind of like taxes, for lack of a better term. When you go to buy a red shirt, because you don't own one right now, so you're going to go into Target today, you're going to buy a red shirt so you can wear it next Friday. Maybe the shirt's $15, but you end up paying $16, $17. Why? Because there were closing costs with that shirt. We refer to them as sales tax. Loans are kind of the same thing. When you go to get a mortgage, there are certain unavoidable costs with doing your loan. We have all sorts of videos on our YouTube station, on our website that you can go and watch specific to closing costs, but I'll mention a few. There's origination fees, okay? Origination fees, there are points. We did a nice video on points recently. There are taxes, which I've mentioned. There's insurance, title fees. How about that appraisal? We've talked about the appraisal, okay? These are just a few of the closing costs that you might incur when you go to get a VA loan. Now, they all cost money, okay? Every single one of these costs money. Some are more than others. I might throw in a plug here real quick. If you do some of your loans with low VA rates, we either waive the need for an appraisal, which is going to save you money, or we will pay for that appraisal for you. Ask us about that later if you want, or go check out our website. So you've got all these closing costs. They have to be paid. So there's two ways to pay them. Number one, pull out your wallet. I don't use a wallet. I use one of these nifty little things. Pull out your wallet, write a check at the title company or wherever you go to close, and pay your closing costs. Who wants to spend their own money? I don't. Who wants to write a check? I don't. So the other way is to roll them into your loan, okay? Unique to the VA loan, more so than others. Now, there's a couple of ways to do this, okay? I'm going to try to outline those right now. Sorry if I went off the screen there for a minute. How do we roll our closing costs into a loan? Well, there's two ways, depending on what type of loan you do. Most popular loan here at low VA rates right now, we've talked about it many times, it's the interest rate reduction refinance loan, the IRRRL. We are one of the, if not the best, in my opinion, we strive to be the best VA IRRRL lender around. You'll make that decision after working with us. On an IRRRL, the VA allows you to take every single one of those costs I listed, and not all of them are associated with a IRRRL, but let's say you've got $5,000 in closing costs. Well, if your loan amount is $100,000 at the time of refinance and you're trying to roll in all your closing costs, there's only one way to do that. You're going to borrow $105,000 from us with your refinance. We're lending you more money than you had borrowed before, but you don't have to write a check, you don't have to get your credit card out, you don't have to get money out of your bank account. You just borrow more money at a lower interest rate, and your payment still goes down. That's how you roll your closing costs into an IRRRL. You just add them to the balance, and you borrow a little bit more money. Now, let's say you say, but Eric, I don't want my balance to go up. What do? Well, you can write a check, which we've already established we don't want to do. You can take a little bit higher interest rate. So you either add the closing costs to your loan balance, or you take a little bit higher interest rate, and we pay your closing costs for you. That's not really rolling your costs into your loan, but it happens to be on the same kind of playing field there. Now, before I go any further, I usually ramble at the end, allow time for questions. We've really been struggling to get the Facebook world to ask us questions lately, so I'm hoping if I invite you now to start thinking about some questions, type them in or ask them while I finish this conversation over the next minute or two, somebody in the room here will notify me that there's a question. Are there any questions yet? No questions yet? Come on, guys. Actually, first person to ask me a question, we're going to send you a red t-shirt, okay? So hopefully somebody will ask a question. It's pretty simple. You take the balance that you owe on your mortgage, you take your closing costs, you add them to the balance, you now owe a little bit more on your loan than you did before, and this is unique to VA streamline refinances. If you have an FHA loan, you can't just increase your loan amount. There are rules that don't let your loan amount go up a certain amount. Conventional loan, even harder. So the benefit of the VA loan, thank you for your service and your sacrifice. The government, along with lenders like low VA rates, we make it easier for you financially to take advantage when interest rates are low like they are today. So it's pretty simple. Any questions? Nobody's getting a t-shirt. Have a great weekend. Almost had a slip there. Sound like it. Have a great weekend. Wear your red next Friday and ask us some questions. Thank you.